Alright, so now with our previous knowledge, let's solve this problem using the chain rule. So our equation is 6x plus 8 to the second power. So the first step is to move the power in front of the equation, or the exponent. So with the arrow being drawn, we can see that we move the 2 and we put it in front of the equation. Now our new equation is 2 parentheses 6x plus 8 to the first power. Because remember, after you use the chain rule and you move the power in front of the equation, you drop the power by 1 every time. Now you have 2 times 6x plus 8, like I said, and you can use the Diophant distribution property. So you multiply 2 times 6x and 2 plus 8. So your final equation would be 12x plus 16 equals the derivative. For our next problem, we have f of x equals 3x to the negative 1 over third power. So the same properties are applying with this equation even if the power is negative. You move the negative 1/3 power in front of the equation, and now you take the derivative of 3x, which is just 3, and you move it behind the negative 1 over 3 power. So now you have negative 1/3 times 3, and then you rewrite the original equation, which was just 3x. And then you drop the power by 1. So if you drop negative 1 over 3 by 1, it would be negative 4 over 3. So now what your equation should be negative 1/3 times 3 times 3x to the negative 4 over 3 power. Technically this answer is correct, but you want to simplify it all the way. So you multiply the negative 1/3 times 3, giving you negative 1, which you can see on the third line. Now you have negative 1, and you multiply it times 3x, so you get negative 3x, which you can see on the fourth line in the answer box. And then you just put the negative 4 over third power, because you don't change it, you don't do anything with it, you just keep it there. So your final equation should be negative 3x to the negative 4 over third power equals the derivative. Sadly, the chain rule is not as easy as some of the problems we have been doing. However, it's very, very easy to understand once you know what to do. So now we're going to try a more complex problem. Here in this equation we have 3x squared plus x minus x to the third power. So just like we've done before, we take the 3 and we move it out in front of the equation. So now we have the 3 in front of the equation like you can see on the second line. However, now that we have a larger term, we're going to take the derivative of 3x squared plus x minus 8, which you should know from your previous lesson. Therefore, the derivative of 3x squared plus x minus 8 would be 6x plus 1, because when you have 3x squared, you move the 2, you multiply times the 3 and drop it 1 power. Therefore, you have 6x. Then the x just stays the same because you're multiplying it times nothing. And then since the negative 8 is on its own and does not have an x with it, it just goes away. So now you're multiplying 3 times 6x plus 1, and then after the derivative, you rewrite the original equation, 3x squared plus x minus 8. Now it gets simple. You just dive bomb and you multiply everything together. When you multiply 3 times 6x plus 1, you get 18x plus 3, and then you multiply that times the original derivative, which stays the same. So now you're going to multiply 18x plus 3 times 3x squared plus 8x minus 8. You dive bomb, and then you get 54x plus 18x squared minus 144x plus 9x squared plus 3x minus 24. After that, you simplify by combining like terms, and your final answer should be the derivative equals 54x cubed plus 27x squared minus 141x minus 24.